Hello, everyone. This is Art Napolitano, and I want to introduce a dear friend of mine, Stephen Cherniske. We've known each other over 30 years. I met Stephen when I was working in a direct-to-consumer marketing company, and he came on board to be the chief science officer and created this incredible product line called Biologics. What I was so impressed with is when Stephen went on stage, large audiences of people, many that weren't health conscious, were awoken to what needs to be happening in their body to stay healthy long term. Now, why did that happen? Stephen's got this incredible background as a teacher, a researcher. In fact, he has taught clinical nutrition at 2 California universities. Stephen actually went on to be the chief science officer of 4 different companies. He co-founded a health and wellness company working with a billionaire that went on to turn over almost $1 billion in annual revenue. Stephen has traveled the world doing research. He helped to create the largest medicinal plant-based library in the world. He's the author of DHEA Breakthrough through Random House Publishing, and he's also authored Caffeine Blues. And he and his wonderful wife, Dr. Napolitano, put out another book called Metabolic Makeover. They also have another organization called Healthy Skeptics. He's been in the formulation business, manufacturing. He's created formulas that have been actually patent sold to pharmaceutical companies. So when I first had to look at Zinzino, Stephen, I had to lean on you because I wasn't an expert in health and wellness. I knew direct-to-consumer marketing as we've been friends for so many years. But when you told me the science of Zinzino was real and this dry blood spot test was real, I have to tell you, it was the tipping point for me to say, I want to be part of Zinzino. So first, I said all that because I need to thank you. Without your input, without your hard work for several weeks researching many companies and many products, I wouldn't be in Zinzino. So thank you. I want everyone here today to just hear a little bit from you about how you came to endorse the Zinzino product line, the science, and ultimately this opportunity.
Well, Artie, thank you for the opportunity because, again, I wouldn't be here without you. So it's very mutual. The advantage here and the breakthrough here is that Zinzino has done something that no one else has done. And that is to develop, first and foremost, a test that measures the integrity of your cells, a test that gives you information that you must have that you currently don't know. In fact, it's the most important number that you don't know. Now, the point is that the test is easy to take. It's a finger stick test. So it's not a difficult trip to your doctor's office. It's done at home. It's easy. It's quick. It's fast. And it gives you an incredible important information which you need to move forward in your life into your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond. Now, the thing about Zinzino, which is wonderful, is I have a checklist, and that checklist is pretty straightforward. It is number one, if you're working with a nutrition company, nutrition is a science. Do they have scientists? The answer is yes. They have a group of scientists that looks like who's who in the science of nutrition and health. At the same time, do those scientists, are they just white coats or do they actually work in a lab? Does Zinzino work with a lab? And the answer is yes. Vita's Analytical Sciences is one of the best, highest rated clinical and research labs in the world. Number three, if you got scientists and they're working in a lab, are they doing really quality research, the kind of things that could be published in medical journals? The answer is, for Zinzino, big check mark right there, because they've got over hundreds of studies published in biomedical journals. Now, finally, if you're doing that level research, if it's really cutting edge, you ought to have some patents, because that's where you go when you have something unique. Does Zinzino have that? Yes, they have a whole portfolio of patents. So Artie, for me, that was a no thing. The science is there. The products that they've developed are the best in the world. And most importantly, they have what no one else has, which is a simple test that you can take to show you exactly where you are in terms of your cell integrity.
Well, we know over 1 billion people take supplements and we hope they work. They think they work, but no one really knows until you test. And we're the leader in what we feel is going to be a huge mega trend with people wanting to test for their nutritional health. And again, you can dig so deep into the science, and we have a lot of things that we can share with people about the science. But I want to talk to you about the business for a minute. When I introduced you to the Doug Peterson, the CEO, and to Orion and Hilda Sali, the founders of the company, who happen to work in the field with us, they were so impressed with you and Dr. Natalie, Kathy, your wife, that they added you to the Zinzino Science Advisory Board. So that was pretty good. In fact, they told me, Artie, if you don't sign here with Zinzino, we're bringing them on board because we want people with that experience and with that professionalism and credibility, integrity to be part of Zinzino. I know you've met with both of them. How do you feel about Doug Peterson and Orion Sali, who you spent some time with?
Well, again, it was a remarkable meeting with these gentlemen. Number one, Orion Sali is a true visionary. He sees ahead. He knows where he needs to go in terms of keeping Zinzino at the cutting edge. Because you can be at the cutting edge today, and you could be pushed by the wayside tomorrow. Things are moving that fast. So number one, do you have a visionary who can see into the future and predict exactly what we need to do to get at the basically the cutting edge? But together with that, you've got to have a CEO that can implement, that can focus and execute your vision. And that is Doug Peterson. To me, he is the consummate CEO. He sees exactly what needs to be done. He has the experience, he has the knowledge, the understanding, and awareness, and he has created the team that can actually get the job done.
What also impresses me is that you understand what everyday people, myself, many others, see in getting involved in a direct selling network marketing situation, starting a home business, working part-time with the chance to build a residual income. What's interesting to me is with all the contacts and all your experience, you actually have your children now working with us in Zinzino. Why is that? How is that?
Well, I have 6 kids and 4 grandchildren, and more than anything else, my goal in life is to care for them, to provide opportunities for them moving forward in this incredibly difficult world that we find ourselves in. Think of AI, think of robotics, think of the way this world is going to change so rapidly in the next decade or two. So the question for me is, how can I give my kids and my grandkids a solid foundation of financial security? And this was the easiest decision that I could make, which was to get them involved in Zinzino, get them established in this company, and be able to literally go forward with this company into the next decade or 3 or 4 or 10.
Well, we always say timing and positioning is important for any business. And as you and I discussed going back, several months when I first looked at this, the company at that time had roughly 1.2, 1.3 million people tested for this omega-3, omega-6 balance. You taught me the importance of that. You told me go out and Google it, go out and look at chronic inflammation. So I dug into that. Of course, with your endorsement, I knew that this was for real. And I saw no other company doing this. And we all have been in business. We've been in business many years and talked about other opportunities that have come and go. And we both thought this is not a fad. This is something that's going to be relevant for a long, long time. So why would that be? And the goal of 100 million customers by 2050, that's kind of a big goal.
Well, it's a goal that's reachable because of the R&D engine here. If you understand that you have to be constantly keeping up with the medical research, you have to be constantly keeping up with what's going on in cell biology, and that's Zinzino's commitment. They don't just have a test that measures self-integrity. They don't just have a product that can put you back in balance, that is guaranteed to put you back in balance. And they have an ongoing line of products. If you look at Viva, Viva is a happy pill. Talk about mood and cognition. Remember, it's important that we understand that the brain health is as important as any other part of your body. In fact, if you give people a questionnaire, brain health comes to the top of the list. Why? Because people can deal with infirmity, but no one wants to deal with an infirm mind. No one wants to have a problem with any form of dementia. So what you've got to do is you have to focus on what is required to maintain cognition, mood, memory, and information processing speed. All those concepts are built into the R&D operation here at Enzino. And Viva is the first product in that category. Listen to this. Viva is so incredible that most people feel a difference the first time they take the product already. Now, when you talk to Dr. Catherine, my wife, she's going to tell you about her experience with Viva, but I'll tell you right now, it is a remarkable product. We can build a company just on that product alone. Now, one more thing. Look at gut health. Is this a problem? Huge problem. Are people becoming rapidly aware of gut health issues? They certainly are. You're going to be hearing more and more about leaky gut in the future. And Enzino already has products dealing specifically with that. You're going to hear a lot about anti-aging. Why? Because people want to function optimally into their 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond. This is new. This is exciting at the same time. What's real? In other words, what can I hang my hat on in terms of integrity and efficacy and safety? Enzino has that covered too with a product called Xenogene. And I could go into depth about all of these. All I want to do is focus here on what's important, which is Enzino is at the cutting edge today. They'll be on the cutting edge tomorrow and for decades to come.
Well, Stephen, thank you for being with me. I know you kind of came out of semi-retirement. You didn't need to be doing this. And when I called you and asked for just your help, please help me do the research. And you came back and with this checklist and said, Artie, I don't know how else you're going to make the judgment, but if it's on the science and on the products that really are going to make a difference for people, this is the company. And then when I looked at all the business factors, I believe that this is the next multi-billion-dollar company. And it's so exciting that we're getting to do this together one last run, and we're going to make a huge impact really on 1 million+ people's lives. So, Stephen, thank you so much. You're a dear friend. Thank you for being with me on this interview.